Studio Report. The man, Kyle F. Nash. What's going on?
Julius, good to see you, sir.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Really?
Now I'm telling no, I hate you. You know why? Because you use that thing so much now that I'm now telling my kids now when they screw up at the house.
Wow, sounds like you're getting a little frisky with your children there. There.
How about Mitchell Trubisky? Is that gonna stick?
No, stop it.
Damn!
Trying to mix your mediocrity with more mediocrity.
Hey,
it
is what it is.
Up that game up anyway. So we'll get into that then. But no,
we have a lot to touch on. A lot.
You keep talking that trash. I'm going to bring up on air how your wife's texting me, Lucifer Morningstar. Okay.
I know. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. And the funny thing is that I actually get. I don't the one because I obviously Big Jim plays the actual sound effect now on the Hull Up podcast. But somehow whenever I hear that and I see the meme, I think of your vocals, not his, not Lucifer Morningstar.
Oh, that's incredibly flattering. Yeah, no, because I mean, listen, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. I love that actor. He does really good in the British Merlin show as well, and like happens to be.
By the way, Lauren watched that show too, for the record. She watched that show. So
she said she started to, but then backed out, but was going to get back into it, because you're too good to watch TV shows that are good, apparently.
Wow. So we're starting insult already, right? Good job. It's like our text messages, right? Like what the fuck?
Hey, she had said, tell me to stop tilting on you. And I said, I don't mean to do that to your husband. It just comes to me as naturally as drawing breath.
Oh boy! All right, let's get started. We got a lot to talk about, not just in college, not just NFL, but in college too as well.
Right.
But let's start here first because this is fresh on our minds. It's fresh, even so much as how we were, you and I, on Twitter literally 30 minutes ago before we started recording this.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start it here. What in the fuck was Nathaniel Hackett thinking about last night? In the last minute. Please explain to me.
It's really easy because a lot of people are going, what the heck? Y'all dummies don't know. Fear. Straight up, unadulterated, nothing else but fear. What's he so afraid of, Cal? That's a great question, Ernest Christian, and I'm here to tell you. So, first of all, let's remember this is a Monday night game. This is important. This means that he and everybody else had an opportunity to watch kickers flub endlessly at the end of the game, and things come down to last minute this and that, and seeing everything go wrong the way it did for a lot of teams in the NFL, which is why we have so much to talk about. I think he was afraid from that standpoint. A, B, this offense has already left 14 points literally in the end zone. He didn't trust him anymore. Sure, he had Russell Carrington Wilson, who we were told was going to be allowed to cook all game, but apparently...
Which he did, for record, most of the game anyway.
After throwing for 340 yards. By the way, EJ, you know how I know he had 340 yards at that point? Because he didn't throw the ball anymore! Then...
You seem mad.
I am. Because
I am too.
Here's the thing, and you saw this as part of an entanglement, which I'm kind of mad like Will Smith would be at Zeta if this were the situation in football. People are around here saying, Geno Smith did so good. Blah. Okay, listen.
He was good.
Timeout. He's all right. Anybody who can throw the ball 25 times and complete more than 80% had a good night, period, end of story. He helped overcome DK Metcalf's turnover, who I'm supposed to think is sliced bread. He is really good. He's just not the best receiver in the league, literally, within that group. You want to
top 10?
Top 5? That's a separate conversation that I'll have. A case could probably be made depending on your criteria. But nonetheless, Geno Smith, a guy who at one point was moved lower in the depth chart because he got punched in the face by his own teammate, everybody seems to forgot, had a fantastic evening that evening. Now, I don't know how much of it you want to put on the Broncos scheme. And people may want to notice that the Broncos in general were dominated a lot more late in the game because, Denver finally realized they were in trouble.
Right.
But can we please stop acting like he's quarterback Jesus for 30 seconds? Okay.
Oh no. And I said on that thread that was you, me, Terran Davenport, and Brandon Howard.
Yeah, so
It
you
was
better put some
both.
respect on those
Yeah,
names, Ernest
yeah.
Chris.
No, I know, dude. I know. No, both can be right here. We don't have to. There's no wrong.
And they are. I think that's the point we were eventually getting to in that thread. But what I'm mad about with that, EJ Christian, is Russell Carrington Wilson hasn't gotten protection like that in this decade.
Yeah.
And that just makes me seethingly angry.
He should won that game last night. And it should have been going away.
Seattle fans shouldn't be celebrating Geno and cursing Russell Wilson. You should still be pissed at that awful human being of a coach, Pete Carroll. Okay, well, maybe he's a decent human being, but all I know is he ran.
I go back and forth because he's likable and
scandal USC. Ernest Christian, I am monologuing. Shut up! I don't care.
Okay, Bill Maher, go ahead.
Don't call me Bill Maher. I actually hate Joe Buck and know what I'm talking about. Here's this though.
Hey, I love Joe Buck.
Did you see him basically sucking on Aaron Rodgers' toenails during his interview with him? Oh, I don't understand why people hate Joe Buck. He actually doesn't prepare for his show. Apparently, you don't either, Bill, with anything other than weed. And I say all that, and I'm still going to watch the show anyway. But no, but listen. The part that Seattle fans are too stupid to understand about this football game is should have been at least 26-17 or 30-17, but no one wants to talk about that. Actually, you know what? I'll take the 2 points off. Who knows? The way kickers were going and the way kicks were getting blocked, maybe they missed the extra points. Okay, cool. Should have been 28-17. Let's not act like that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
No, enough with coulda, shoulda, woulda, all that. If you aren't furious about the fact that it took Russell leaving to get that kind of protection, you're an idiot for a football fan. And trust me, Seattle, I've seen you be idiots as football fans in person. All you did was prove it true once again.
So now we have two coaches in the AFC West I can't trust.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, but I'm sure we'll get to it later as the Chargers handle business.
Yes, but we'll get to that second.
Listen, the only thing involving butts should be you fantasizing your wife right now. I don't want to hear any buts about the Chargers performing well. No, listen, man. And by the way, my seething anger towards that has actually very little to do with Geno. But to make this game about Geno, in my opinion, and no offense to my friends, Teron Davenport and Brandon Howard, in my opinion, is just a bad take. Now, they're excited for different reasons because they've both been very vocal about quarterbacks of color. And listen, I'll go to war right alongside Brandon Howard talking about Lamar Jackson and bad takes regarding him that you've had on some of your podcasts with certain guests.
But I didn't say it, though.
I know you didn't. I'm just letting them know that if they listen to this podcast, they're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, well, how question they're wrong? We've had a conversation a couple weeks ago.
You talk about how often I like being right. I want to be right in a way that you'll actually agree with. That isn't a dunk right on your bald head. That's
I had a little bit of hair here. I got to cut my hair tonight. And by the way, Russ did cook last night until he was not allowed to cook in season at the end. Just saying.
Yeah, you didn't let the damn chef make the pastry. The hell.
So this only had a hot seat already. No, I'm joking, but still, really.
Yeah, I know the fans want that, but
so bad. I'm gonna touch on a topic that I'm sick of hearing about because I get it. The America's team, they don't interest me personally.
Yeah.
But how much trouble the Cowboys really in with Dak being out now for 6-8 weeks?
Listen, tell me you haven't listened to the Student of the Game podcast NFC preview, or excuse me, final game predictions without telling me you haven't listened to the Student of the Game.
I was on that episode, actually.
That's the joke, EJ Christian.
Yes.
No, you were on the NFC preview. You did not watch the last week's or 2 weeks ago when I locked in. No, it was last week when I locked in on my predictions, and you saw the Cowboys at 7-10 then.
Yes.
Okay.
With Dak.
How do I think? Yeah, no, the Cowboys are screwed. Now, let's not do anything stupid like, oh, we're going to go get Jimmy Garoppolo. No, I know you posed that question, but I know
I just asked out of because this week one.
Curiosity. This is one of those where I'm not trying to dunk on you. But the other people think The thing is, other people have asked it unironically or uninquisitively, thinking it's a good plan. It's not. The best thing, the reason why the whole Dak situation isn't as bad as it could be, this is me being positive, right? Dak isn't going to be out but for 6 to 8 weeks. That part of the schedule is relatively light. If you are going to win those games, whether it's Dak or Cooper Rush, may not make that big a difference necessarily. Because what the biggest problem is y'all can't run the football like we were promised from Jera. And, of course, we all knew that was ridiculous.
And by the way, I saw a report about an hour ago, Jera, where he said that Dak is not going to IR because he thinks he could be back as early as 4 weeks from now.
Well, okay, that's
according to Jera. Jera's word.
And he's going to have information on that. I don't. It's the dude's team. Never, like, I'm never going to assume I know who you're investigating in your security van, because only during this hour or in a Huddle Up podcast, bing, am I actually in the van with you. So, I'm
looking around and see what's going on in the van real quick.
Everything good in here? You need me, boss?
Very good. Really good. It's good.
Yeah. No, but I don't want to know what you're watching if that's your answer. Anyway. No, but listen, for my money, the Cowboys have a lot bigger problems than that. I will give them this much credit. Holding the alleged GOAT to 19 points as an offense is impressive, especially considering how bad things went defensively. Offensively.
The defense was the only spot, the only good saving grace that team on that game, that Micah Parsons and company.
Right. And Chris Godwin leaving the game certainly helped that, but as I point out, as I'm going to point out when it drops in the Matchup Mania this week on 3pointconversion.com, bing, that still means they have plenty from Marshawn Lattimore and the Saints to worry about. So, but yeah, the Cowboys weren't playoff relevant already. In my mind, this just makes it worse. And who knows, maybe they'll actually get a good draft pick out of it. And give Jera and company some credit. They had that amazing O-line on his watch, making good draft picks. Micah Parsons is a Cowboy on his watch. They've
done well.
They've done pretty good in the draft. They haven't nailed it. I mean, say what you will about Zeke, but Pollard was also drafted by them too. I liked him coming out of Memphis, not as much as Darrell Henderson, who's playing for the Rams now, but still both good backs. Anyways, but yeah, I enjoy football as much as you can, because it's football. You are the biggest fan base in the nation, Cowboys fans. So, a little rain must fall. Hell, even the Empire lost a few battles to the rebellion in Star Wars.
I mean, I get the whole America's team thing, though, real quick. A little sidebar real quick, though, but I don't find them even interesting. And ESPN flates them like all day long.
Well, listen, ironically quoting Deion Sanders, a now famous Cowboy, that's a business decision.
Yeah, I get why people, big fan base, I get all that, but it's like, okay, like, you're not interesting though. Like, I literally don't even interested. I am more interested to hear about the Patriots right now than do about the Cowboys.
Well, and I think that's Mike McCarthy's fault, right? I think that's the guy. Listen, it's a great opportunity for them to stink again and them to get into decent coach. And listen, Sean Payton's already talking about being very interested in possibly coming back coaching if you read between the lines when he's on Colin Cowherd's show.
He was there yesterday. I saw a little 27-minute interview.
Yeah, which was gold, by the way.
I didn't finish it yet. I started last night, but I didn't finish it.
I don't know how much I buy this whole Mahomes thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, you looked at him, but you got beat to the punch. It is what it is. But, nothing wrong with losing a great prospect to Andy Reid, who's arguably one of the best to do it all time.
Yeah.
So I digress.
Should we be concerned about the Green Bay Packers? Oh, sorry. There's a little lag there. There's a little lag there. A little lag. Should we be concerned about the Packers, though?
No.
Okay.
Were you concerned about the Packers after week 1 last year when they got trounced by the Saints?
No, but it feels a little different this year. I don't know why. It feels a little different this year.
Different because you've been fed everything's awful and the sky is falling. The difference is the expectations were higher for Green Bay, and people were making their predictions. Aaron was fresh off of his first MVP, so it was still novel, right? And he had the situation in the playoffs where I don't want to say choked, but fell short of expectation. It was novel then, so people saw all that and assumed the sky is falling, and then now it's not. Also, the Saints that year, pretty awful, at least in perception. Yeah, I know they battled back at the end of last year and looked better than they started for sure. But a lot of that is perception. Like if they had gone out and had the game like they did against the Falcons, for example, then I'd be more worried. The Vikings are going to flirt with being a good team. They're going to disappoint their fan base again, probably. But
because that's what they do.
Because, Kirk Cousins. But the Vikings are not a bad football team. And you actually picked the Vikings to win. So is that because you think Green Bay is going to not make the playoffs?
No. I agree with win the division, but I did say that division come down to a tiebreaker-ish situation.
I said it was going to be one game, and I gave it to the Packers based on
me too.
And I have them splitting with the Vikings. Granted, would it have been this game that I picked them to win? Maybe, maybe not. I don't remember my mindset exactly, but I could make a case for either side on that.
Mm-hmm.
The later in the year you meet Aaron Rodgers in this receiver core, the more dangerous they're going to be just by having gotten chemistry. This is one example of you got a team in week 1 and it was the best time to get them.
And here's a good stat too also. I mean, you said before the year started. Kirk Cousins plays only 2 primetime games this year.
Yeah, no.
Only 2. One of them is next week. So you get out of the way early.
And that Eagles team, that's going to be a very fine matchup.
I know people thought I was crazy for saying it's a big game, but I think this is the thing, and I'll get to the Eagles part here with this Vikings thing. The Eagles' schedule is so easy on paper right now.
Right.
That I believe that the Rams even have a couple more hiccups going forward. Number 1 season play for the Eagles. And this game here is Minnesota. If Minnesota is as good as we think they are, who could be battling for a 1 seed also too, maybe down the road, this could be a humongous game in terms of like the standings and seeding going forward.
So what you're using here for historical context, EJ, because I'm validating your point that this sort of thing has happened before,
mm-hmm.
right? You're giving the Rex Grossman Chicago Bears defense. The NFC as a conference was a joke, let alone their division that year.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I mean, who was it they were battling in the playoffs? Right?
Saints. They played the Saints at playoffs. They played the
Were they still having? Was it still Aaron Brooks at quarterback back then?
No, it was Drew Brees. Drew Brees' first year there.
Okay, it was first year. Okay,
yeah.
But the point is, not fully developed yet.
Yeah.
To the Saints as you know them, and people are fooled by right now.
Right.
And I believe it was the Panthers who were the other one.
Correct.
And were those the Delhomme,
yeah,
quarterbacked Panthers? Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I know Delhomme made it to a Super Bowl, but never been a fan of his per se.
I'm just saying that game is huge. I mean, I know we're in our chat, on Hull Up chat, Matt was making a big deal about, not a big deal. Trust me, this is what makes NFL special. Every game counts. Well, every game counts.
Right. More here. The point, you use the term "must win." That's where he was at you. Let's keep it out of the fake news territory there.
I like to blow a little bit more in the hot take. It's because it's what I do. It's what I do. But the reality is that's a huge game.
No, it will be an important game. Absolutely. It didn't make the matchup mania simply because I don't believe in the Eagles quite like that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll leave that at that.
Right. All right. Next thing here. It's been decades, Kyle.
Yeah.
But I really, really feel like, and especially what I saw, and I'm not trying to overreact here, but especially what I saw on Sunday.
Overreaction is what you do. Just stop saying
you're not overreacting, but this is something I didn't like when I saw come out of camp and when I was here on a camp. And then I saw the product on Monday. I'm like, oh, boy. I feel like we're finally about to see the implosion of the Patriots after decades and decades. It just feels like the time has come. And I think the biggest part of this, it's not even Tom Brady anymore. Losing Josh McDaniel is a big deal. That offense looked uninspired, looked uncreative. Maybe it's Miami's defense is much better than we thought. I thought they were, but man, that Patriots offense looked like boo-boo on Sunday.
So, and I really should. I knew you were going to bring up the Patriots. I really wish I was better prepared for the McDaniel take because there's some questions I'd have to answer before I'm even confident entertaining that. Like that's a bit of a knee jerk in my mind because when he was over in Denver, drafting Tim Tebow in the first round,
yeah,
I kind of feel like the Patriots were still relatively successful in that time. I think the bigger problem is Belichick. And listen, I've been a guy that's defended Belichick a lot. Oh, he needed Tom Brady to succeed. Fool, please. All y'all were taking diarrhea dumps all over Mac Jones, and he's been performing the way he's been performing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, this game one isn't, because how many drops were there? And let's be clear, Miami is a place the Patriots, even with your boy Brady, have traditionally performed badly, and they have traditionally performed badly there in August. I'm not ready to panic yet. Now, and by the way, in an NFC where there's now an extra playoffs, excuse me, they're not in the NFC. If they were in the NFC with an extra playoff spot, I would definitely tell you there's no reason to panic. The reason why one must panic is because of the many teams in the AFC that are good, and sneaking in is problematic. Listen, if you actually listened to my predictions for the playoffs and who will get in or not, 2 teams are missing with 10-win records in my mind. And by the way, side note, whoever's trying to tell me that the Vikings are going to win 13 games, that's games, baby.
I don't go that far, but I mean, Vikings are pretty good. But yeah, the Pats, I don't know.
See, the joke is I've never actually smoked, but I do a really good simulation of
You do really good simulation of marijuana. My boy Brian Daboll going for 2 to win the game. Yay or nay?
Listen, that's the most damn yay thing about that whole game, because Giants fan chirping, I'm sure, is annoying the hell out of you, as implying they actually deserve the W. The reason why Daboll is smart is he did something a lot of other coaches who are smart with their players, like a John Harbaugh. He felt the room. He rode the wave. He knew damn sure that defense wasn't going to take down this team who knows for a fact that they aren't performing like they need to. If the Titans had gotten to overtime, Chris Henry would have put that damn game on his back, and business would have been handled.
You mean Derrick Henry?
What'd I say?
Chris Henry. Rest in peace.
Hey, my bad. Derrick Henry, of course.
Yeah.
No, you know what it was? Is I was actually thinking CJ2K and Derrick Henry both.
Oh.
Anyways, and
You're
then
riffing.
I got Chris Henry, who, well, regardless if he was a character guy, rest in peace. Anyways, say all that to say, that play call to ride the wave of momentum, to take it to the Titans while they were still on their heels in the part of the squad, EJ Christian, where they're actually weakest, their defensive front, was an absolutely excellent coaching plan, and something your boy Pat Shurmur never would have thought of.
Hell no. Hell no. And I'll tell you what, watching the game in real time, as a Giants fan watching the game in real time, my wife would tell you also too.
Oh, your wife?
No, she no, but we were watching the game together, and I told her, go for it. You know why? We have nothing to lose. You're a bad team anyway. Just go for it.
That's part of it. I don't want to just because if that's actually part of your coaching strategy, we'll never find out for real, because there's no way in hell you can say that to your team. Listen,
of course, I'm saying that as a fan. I'm saying
F them. You know, the only way that works is in the context of like the replacements. You know, this could be your last night of playing football, and that makes you very dangerous people. Well, you know, the road momentum. Momentum is a fickle mistress, sir.
Yeah, and at that point in the game too, also Tennessee is on the ropes too. They're on the back end, so like take advantage of that. Absolutely, I'm totally with you on that. So this weekend we heard Lamar Jackson, the Ravens can reach a deal, for an extension. But Lamar ball.
Newsworthy, by the way, Ernest, because not to interrupt you, but now I'm paying attention. Before, couldn't care less. I really thought they were going to make a deal in the 11th hour. They didn't. Oh boy.
Guaranteed money still separated. That's what it comes down to.
You know, I'm not sure. So first of all, let me say this. I was listening to Richard Sherman's podcast. He was asked directly about Lamar Jackson, and he answered exactly as I did, and as I expected Richard Sherman would. By the way, Richard Sherman, one of my first interviews video of all time.
Remember that.
But he said exactly what I thought he would say. Yes, he agreed with the move. He likes what Lamar is doing. Over and above the fact that when Richard Sherman did it, he's not a quarterback, so he has that much more leverage, right? If the franchise doesn't see you as the unique individual you are as an entity and football player, and an agent and the state of the market and the art is incapable of dealing with you, this is why Lamar Jackson has taken to represent himself. And it's absolutely gorgeous that he's doing it. Is it risky? Yes. Would I, were I him, be that risky? Probably not. But I'm not him. And this isn't me saying he's wrong. The part that baffles me is that Baltimore has already been burned this way by a far less talented quarterback who ironically started against them this week in Joe Flacco. And y'all ain't learned your damn lesson yet. Y'all are that certain L-Jack's going to get hurt that you're going to roll the dice like this. And by the way, Richard Sherman pointed this out, and I think I had to before listening to it the other day, but he reminded me of it. The salary cap's going up. Why are you not meeting L-Jack's demands with the salary cap going up? I get that you're trying to deflect what the Browns did to the quarterback market with that garbage deal to Deshaun Watson. And no, it has nothing to do with his social ethics. I mean, he blew up the quarterback market and teams are on their heels in leverage now. If you don't believe L-Jack is durable, you can't sign a Deshaun Watson deal. That's where I'm at.
And he balled out Sunday.
Yeah, he did. Granted, very slow first half. I was very nervous to have to listen to the dummies, but then Lamar Jackson went all Lamar Jackson on him and took care of it.
And he balled out throwing the ball, the thing that people say you can't do properly.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, it's out there.
I guess I'll have to watch the film again. I didn't see that. That's a joke.
Let's go back to Thursday night, first game of the year. Buffalo Bills domination. Every fear, I think people who had the Bills win the Super Bowl this year, I think you had them win the Super Bowl as well this year too.
I actually
every fear I think everybody had about this team we saw, and that's with turning the ball over 4 times and still winning on the road against the champs by 21 points.
You know,
they're gonna be a fucking problem.
I'm really glad, EJ Christian. Like, this is the happiest I've been of you in your coverage in a long time. And no, that's not shit talk like about, you know, you having 87 teams and being horrible at doing power rankings. Like, no.
88, no.
Details.
Irish.
I can't listen. Thank you for updating me because I sure can't keep track.
Can't keep up, man, you know?
But like, listen, for all the times I dunked on you like Shaq on Chris Dudley, like that whole thing where people are like, oh, the Rams were humiliated. First of all, dumbasses, the score was 10-10 at the damn half. Okay? It's like these idiots that like Kyle Shanahan lost the game for the 49ers in the Super Bowl. No, dummies. Maybe he didn't land a separate question. But Patrick LaVon Mahomes II went all Patrick LaVon Mahomes II on the Niners at the end of that game to win that Super Bowl.
Correct.
The Rams weren't humiliated, although except maybe their left tackle replacing Andrew Whitworth. But honestly, who can replace Andrew Whitworth?
True.
Another guy I've interviewed. Super cool. But they were amazing. And we need to be talking about that. And no, not just all the typical Josh Allen. Everybody forgot he wasn't good till Stephon Diggs got there, like I predicted back in August when he arrived there that year. I don't mean to stroke my ego so much here on your show, by the way. I'm just trying to remind people of the reality of these situations. That is a good football team. Josh Allen's just part of it. Josh Allen's going to win the MVP. Do I think he deserves it? No. That is a bloated team. That is a huge team. The best defense for Josh Allen as an MVP candidate is all these idiots that were like, well, Buffalo doesn't have a run game. And then in the very next sentence will tell me how good a runner Josh Allen is. Dumbasses. So, no.
And by the way, also too, I went to the Bills schedule in the last segment with Mikey B on the Power Rankings. He made the case in the last segment that it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but the Bills going unbeaten is not off the table.
Oh boy,
that schedule. I look at that schedule is actually. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I did say my predictions that the Bills' floor this year, for record, the floor was 14-3.
Jesus,
Looking at that schedule, the 3 hardest games they got past the first one against the Rams, Bengals, Chiefs, and I think the other one was the not the Titans. Titans suck this year. There's another one there. In there.
If you're going to call anybody going undefeated,
And Ravens.
Okay, fine, add them in since the Rams are already off the table. If you're going to call undefeated for where teams like the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the
Bengals late in the year
on the schedule, you're a braver man than I. That's all I'll leave it.
I'm not doing it, but that does play into my.
Was doing it either. I think Mike was what's his words, pointing out that hey, this could be a thing, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, of course.
Defense. We're not talking enough about Von Miller and company either. And by the way, you want to know why the game was so wacky and sloppy with turnovers on Thursday? Name me another game you've watched that had that much defensive tackle talent on the field. And by the way, allegedly, Aaron Donald's counterpart in the middle there was deemed on the back of a milk carton because of the protection that was given by the mediocre Bills offensive line. Okay. Cool story, bro. You know. And can we please stop Aaron Donald was neutralized? How many turnovers did the Bills have again? They lost the goddamn turnover battle and they still dominated. That's the goddamn news story. It was 10-10.
That's the point.
It was a defensive battle, and that offense, not the Rams being bad, that offense found a way. The Bills defense is still good. And they couldn't. Now, the Rams need to, if you want to panic for the Rams, here's where you do it on the offensive line. John Matthew Stafford is not the problem.
Right. One more NFL thing. We get to college real quick. I mentioned the Chargers earlier on this segment. Big win against the Raiders, obviously. Not surprised. I picked them in the game.
That was the premier game this week, in my opinion.
But it felt to me anyway, and I'm probably going to be wrong here. It felt a little underwhelming because I wanted to see the Chargers team that we've been hearing all summer long. This team is the best roster in football. I wanted to see them go for the throat and pull and run away with it. And instead, that game came down to Raiders actually having a chance to win it late.
The Raiders are a football team, Ernest Christian.
No, I agree. I get that, but the Chargers were up big early.
See, I gave you all these props about how you're framing. Yeah, I'm giving you all these props about how you're framing the Bills-Rams game, and then you turn around and screw it all up by the way you're framing this game.
That's what I do, buddy.
Yeah, but no, and listen, joking aside, like I think you're framing it a little wrong there. Can we give Justin Herbert some credit? By the way, Keenan Allen got hurt in the game, bro.
That's true. That's just true.
That's important.
Yeah, he's not playing this Thursday. They just almost ruled out unlikely to play on Thursday because the Chiefs.
Yeah,
huge game too. Huge game.
Yeah. You might see that mentioned in the matchup mania. Bing! But
nice.
With the way that the Chargers ran the football, with the way that Justin Herbert did, regardless of Herbert missing basically the second half, Keenan Allen missing basically the second half, and they still won the football game. Ernest Christian, if you don't have Justin Herbert on your list of MVP candidates already, you're wrong.
Oh, he's there. He's there.
I know he is because you're smarter. You were with me that John Matthew Stafford should have gotten more credit than he did in Detroit. Okay.
Right.
There are some places where you're always wrong. Your quarterback evals, except for with Tom Brady, is not among them.
By the way, the Dallas Cowboys, now granted, you probably didn't consider it anyway because you thought the Cowboys would be 7-10 this year, but the Cowboys, Dak injury only increases my Washington Commanders playoff chances. And they want to know for the record. And they want to know for the record.
No.
Let's go.
It doesn't do a damn thing for your Red Tails.
I'm joking, buddy.
At all. You know what did more for your Red Tails prediction? Trevor Lawrence sailing a few too many balls on the receiver.
Yeah, he looked kind of shaky on Sunday. He had moments, and he had like weird moments.
We saw it in training camp that he was sailing balls. He acknowledged that in his mind, the problem was not chemistry with new receivers. He just hasn't gotten comfortable and he's sailing the ball. I think the best point that I've heard made, as much as I hear coaches bitching about it, this is the one that's good. It's not just that preseason's been shortened, is that people have stopped playing starters in preseason. Now, the Jags didn't do that, so I don't know what the hell's going on there, but that's the reason why I think you saw some of the results that you did, too. So.
By the way, Carson Wentz looked pretty good on Sunday. Looked pretty good.
By the way, speaking of startings and preseason or not, I still need a good explanation on why Mitchell Trubisky is a starting quarterback in the NFL right now.
You mean Mitchell Trubisky?
No, I mean T-Dog Mitch.
Trubisky?
or whatever the hell.
Yeah, well,
I'm
all
not
right,
right now. This is serious.
I'm trying to make Trubisky a thing, man. It's not working right now.
No, it's not because it sucks. EJ, take a hint.
We'll try to hold up on tonight. We'll try to hold up tonight. All right, let's go culture wall quick.
Well, no, quick. I got to get this out.
Go ahead.
Turnovers, and all you could muster was 23 points in 60 minutes. No, sorry, 75 minutes of football. And you're going to try to tell me you're an NFL starter. Stop it. Najee Harris got hurt, and you were useless.
So Kenny Pickett will be a starter within the month.
Now, that being said, Joey Burr comes out with that crap show that he did to open. He'll even tell you that is the worst game he played in.
And they almost still won the game.
And can we get off of McPherson for 30 seconds, though? Somebody give Minkah Fitzpatrick some goddamn props.
Dude, that guy is a fucking baller.
And with TJ Watt out, notice how the Cincinnati started to move the ball more. And Minkah said, yeah. That is not cool, Care. And he blocked it. And I'm like, you know what? I was ticked when Miami let you go. Why are you mad at me? Damn it.
Yeah. All right, so to some college football talk here. A story that we kind of already saw coming once they lost to Northwestern in week 0.
Is that since we already saw it coming, does that qualify as I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen?
Let's qualify that, yes. Scott Frost out of Nebraska. Your thoughts?
Not shocking. It took a little longer than I thought. I
2
really
weeks longer.
What's that?
2 weeks longer or a year?
Years.
Okay.
Years longer. I thought he was going to be. I believe he got extended there. I could be wrong. But I thought he was going to be out of there sooner than he was. That style of football, in my opinion, is not tenable in the Big Ten. Sure, you might win a few bowl games with it, and if you're trying to be a national championship candidate, you might get a little lucky, as the Oregon Ducks did against your FSU Seminoles with Jameis Winston and that whole unexplainable I left it on the ground fumble thing back in the first playoff. That was eventually won by Carnell Jones. God. I mean, I'm sure he's still getting, free drinks wherever he goes, but I ain't seen him since, I guess he was in the AAF or something like that. Anyway.
I think he was in the AAF, actually.
Yeah, I just forget which team he played for. But I say all of the above to say that can't work day to day in the Big Ten. You have speed-based finesse offenses like that. Their one weakness is they get punched in the mouth and beaten in the middle, and then, there's just no hope to get going because you can't get your footing when everybody's in the backfield like that, right? Mm-hmm. That's why all the time throughout history, Stanford, even when Oregon is great and Stanford is not having a great year, they'll beat Oregon in that matchup. It's the same sort of thing.
All right. Finally, give me some takeaways from week 2 in college football. It was a chaotic weekend. What stood out to you the most?
Man, listen. Oh, God, nobody's safe. And over the above the fact that you want to try to start to run your mouth about Texas A&M as if you saw it coming.
Me?
Child, please.
Me?
You.
I didn't say anything about Texas
I saw your get the F out of here tweet. Don't act all innocent.
No, because everybody's talking about the next team to crack the 4. I'm like, nah.
You know why I picked that. It wasn't because I thought big things about Texas A&M. It's just I assumed there are going to be 2 SEC teams in there because it's the SEC and it's the best money.
And I think George is reminding y'all, George reminding folks.
Well,
we still here.
Well, yeah, I'm not worried about Georgia. We're talking about the second SEC team. You're not paying.
Bama? You mean Alabama, the second one?
Oh, well, there you go. And yeah, with that, oh yeah, and we already, the reason why I kind of dismissed you bringing up Georgia, like we talked about that last week. I think we're good with Georgia being amazing. Something that basically they were trying to clone EJ Christian and were retooling, but it went horribly wrong.
Hello podcast tonight. Can't wait.
Yeah, no, I kind of misunderstood your context there. So no, yeah, Georgia being back, like that's old news from where you and I sit, but for the purposes of this, yeah, sure. They're very much alive in the game. Florida falling prey to the SEC eating the SEC as we always seen. Yeah,
cannibalization, baby.
I I still see Kentucky as a basketball team first, but listen,
I do too.
I covered them in the Citrus Bowl and watched them beat Iowa. And you know what? They're a tough football team. That is a fact.
That's true.
Oh, and as to your Baylor Bears there, sir, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Who picked BYU on the panel? I think it was you, right? The only one. Yeah.
I'm doing that to show you there's only one hand for those who are watching the video. I moved aside. See if there's anybody else in the room.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
The Shaggy defense. It wasn't me.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think it was Matt either, and I don't believe it was Jim either.
No.
So
those two jabronis wouldn't have the guts to pick BYU anyway. So
you know, and listen, I was afraid to make that pick after what Jim had me believing with Utah, and I blame you. No, not you. I blame Jim for that. But you know, because it's a Cena quote, I know it's going to be tough for him to see me. So he'll
see. He can't see me, John Cena.
Anyways, this is more wrestling drops than you ever expected from me.
I love it. Love it.
Praise, and that proves that everybody's got a price.
So does the AP the AP has right now currently the same four I have in order. Essentially, Alabama. Oh no, sorry, Alabama.
Georgia.
Georgia.
Damn it.
Ohio State, Alabama, and Michigan. Are you there too?
Yeah, that's not rough. That's not rough at all for me. 2 Big Ten teams is fascinating. Can you imagine how much the general public will lose their entire shit? There, I cursed on your show for you. We'll lose.
I love it.
Shit. If 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams go,
ain't happening.
I
don't know.
Never say never.
No. I say that ain't happening, but it may happen.
Listen, if the committee can feel compelled to let in a team from the American Athletic Conference, sir, any goddamn thing is possible.
I agree.
And you're listen, you're Oklahoma Sooners with overrated Dilly Gabriel at the quarterback position. Bro, you're letting yourself in for disappointment. I can tell you that for a fact.
By the way, Michigan did not cover this week against Hawaii.
I think we all said they wouldn't cover the 51.
Right. So much points in the college football. I'm sorry. Always took the field on that one.
Hey,
anyway,
you degenerates out there, but you wouldn't listen.
Yeah. Anyway, plug away, Kyle.
Wow, that was a fast one this week.
Was it really 42 minutes fast?
Listen,
what's the average?
No, it felt fast. I'll say this too, by the way. All the Bear fans that want to chirp about beating the 49ers on Saturday by having the game handed to them and making it obvious that you knew you didn't deserve the win with this soccer sliding rain celebration bullcrap. Mm-hmm. You guys can keep talk about that, and we'll continue to talk about that while you're watching the 49ers play in January. anyways, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game.
Talking shit. Look at it. Niner fan talking shit.
That's not trash. That's
probably right, though. You're probably right.
I mean, honestly, you know what the biggest disaster is for the NFC West?
What's that?
The fact that the Seattle Seahawks were handed a goddamn victory and now are at the top of the division.
Can Geno sustain? That's the question.
Hell no.
I hope he does, but probably
not. The one thing that's going to wreck him, or I should say his numbers, when that team doesn't have the luxury of playing in Seattle. Because that home field advantage is real. I
saw last night.
Experienced it. I'm sure it was a big part of it, though I don't believe volume makes running backs drop fumbles in the end zone here nor there. There were a number of delay of games and false starts that I definitely attribute to that home field advantage, 100%. But now that let's put it this way. If Geno Smith can be as efficient as he was against the Broncos battling that 49ers front, I am compared to reevaluate my assessment of one Geno Smith. Anyways, of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Look for my work covering the UCF Knights with the black and gold banneret, which, by the way, during their first game, EJ Christian, Gabe Davis was on the sideline. I whispered to him as well that I had the Bills going to the Super Bowl. Can't help but notice he caught the first touchdown after I whispered.
Yeah, I thought about you when I saw the first time. By the way, is he the best number 2 guy in the league, a receiver?
I'm going to say, without having properly researched it at this time, it is certainly a worthy point for you to bring up and keep on me about it. I will answer that question as you ask it on the next Football is Awesome Student of the Game report. I don't want to steal it from you and do it on my show. But
Still, I don't care.
Let's. I'm trying to tease your show, bitch. Stop being a hippie. nothing like cursing at the host to get
I love it.
No, but yeah, that's definitely something I want you to bring up next week because I think that would definitely be a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want one more week of evaluation to see if the Packers receivers do any damn thing. And of course, check out my work with the Black and Gold Banneret covering UCF football and when it is in season basketball as well. Check out my work with the 3pointconversion.com, which will include this week's edition of the Matchup Mania that will drop Wednesday, I'm told. And then also this weekend, the Jaguars season opener as they host the 0-1 Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, Lord.
I would have put that game on the Matchup Mania, but as I stated, I'm not covering a division that doesn't have a win in it yet, for God's sake. By the way, EJ, here's where you're wrong about draws. You have to
ties
draw.
I almost named this episode I Hate Ties.
Okay, and I'm here to tell you why you're wrong every single way. In the NFL, you have to earn a victory. This isn't basketball where no one has a higher score yet. It's another overtime. Keep going, fellas. Good luck.
Don't make fun of basketball, buddy.
Too late. Oh, you're playing in the park and no one has a winning score yet? Well, just keep playing. You could have 5 more minutes. I'm a responsible parent. 5 more minutes? No, we have to go home. It's dinner time. You had your chance. You didn't do it. Life is harsh. Sometimes neither team deserves to lose, and sometimes neither team deserves to win. And that is what we saw with the Texans and Colts. That's why ties are perfectly okay.
I hate ties.
You're still wrong. Anyway, check out my work with the Jacksonville Jaguars with the 3pointconversion.com as well as A7BM Sports and the Captain and Company Morning Show on Old School 101.com. Something Demosthenes Euclid. No, check out the work as well with Hilarity by Default and the YouTube channel with Demosthenes Euclid. Good times, man. But until next time and until Tuesday night, most specifically, class dismissed.